It is another edition of the On the Mic podcast, and I haven't talked to this man in nearly a year, and he's continuing to find success and enjoy success in his pro career. He will be back inside the Bellator cage at Bellator 298 against Aaron Jeffery. He is the one and only Dalton Rosta. Dalton, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you making the time for me. So, little late start to this year for you. I know you got 3 fights in earlier or in 2022, I should say. But what's 2023 been like for you? And how excited are you to get back in the cage?
Super excited to get back in, man. I was supposed to fight in April. Things didn't work out. And now I'm fighting in August. I asked to get on the June card. It was full. They assured me I'd be on in July, but then it was overseas. So August is what it's looking like. And we're less than a couple weeks away. Plan to make this a quick one and then get back in there soon after.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you have a lot, I know you're a guy who likes to stay active, and I know you're a guy who likes to damage people and do so quickly. But are you gonna kind of look to make up for lost time now? Do you want to try and get at least one more fight in by the end of 2023?
Yeah, I'd love to get one more in, maybe two. If they want to fight me in October and then again in December, I would do that. But that's probably not realistic for their timing, their schedule, the way that their events and stuff are playing out. But definitely at least one more time before the end of the year.
And you find yourself sitting right at the top of the division there. What does this fight against Aaron Jeffery do for you, in your opinion?
I think it definitely moves me up a couple spots in the rankings. As for what's next, I'm not sure. I've been getting asked a lot about like title implications, but I haven't heard anything about that. And I just, like I said, my response to them was I'm just treating this like another fight. And I have one more fight left on my contract after this. So I'd like to get one more in by the end of the year. If I sign a new deal to fight for a belt, might not be fighting again until next year. So I definitely at least want to fight one more time this year.
I was gonna say, man, it's like we've talked before. You almost know the questions I'm gonna ask you. But I would assume, obviously, you'd like to go in, take care of business on August 11th, get that last fight, and then contract negotiations. Obviously, your next fight should be for a world title if you go in and win the next two.
Oh yeah, I think so for sure. The next two, but like I said, I definitely want one more after this 4 years end. So I think I'll probably leave renegotiation off the table until after I get another fight, or unless they can guarantee me another fight on the new deal at the end of this year, before this year's end, then I would do that. But I definitely want another one before this year's end.
Yeah, I think everyone who is a fan of yours and a fan of your fighting style be excited to hear you want to get back in there twice this year. What do you make of Aaron Jeffery as an opponent? We talked about kind of the implications, but what do you make of him as an opponent?
He's okay. He's decent everywhere. So I guess you could say he's well-rounded, but not well-rounded to a high degree. Like I said, he's pretty decent everywhere, but he's not great anywhere.
It's a little interesting here on the card. I know you're only looking forward, right? But also on this card, the main event, one half of the main event has called you out in the past, and that being Ward said he'd come up to 185. Any interest in that? Will you be watching? Obviously, be watching the main event, but any interest in fighting Brennan Ward in the future if that was offered to you?
I mean, if he still wanted to and Bellator still wanted to do it, I would do it. But I think we kind of put that behind us as of now because, we were talking shit back and forth. Nothing came of it. And it's been almost a year since he's called me out, so nothing's came of that. I doubt anything's going to come forward. So we kind of put that behind us, but I'm sure he'd still be up for it, as would I.
That would be one hell of an exciting fight.
Sure.
Going into South Dakota, I know it's going to be a ruckus crowd. What are you looking to bring to this crowd? I mean, man, I remember the first time I talked to you, I was so excited to talk to you because you're just someone who likes to shut the other side up, not the crowd, but you like to shut the opposing side up that you face, while also showcasing your elite skills and skill set. So what are you looking to bring to South Dakota on August 11th?
I'm just looking to go out there and, fight to my potential, really. As long as I do that, I don't think anybody in the world can beat me on fight night, I think I have a significant speed advantage over him. I think I have a power advantage as well. I only have 4 finishes out of 8 fights. He has like 9 of 17, 9 of 17, 8 are knockouts of the 17, one's a submission. So it would statistically, it's similar, but if you look at my fights, a lot of my opponents are running from me, and the whole entire time they're backing up, circling, running, trying to elude me, be evasive. So it's hard to knock somebody out that won't engage with you. You know what I mean? They're running all fight long. If you've ever participated in wrestling, boxing, anything like that, somebody that just moves constantly, is running away from you, won't engage. It's hard to land a shot. A knockout shot. So Aaron Jeffery seems to be like a willing dancing partner. So I think this fight will get a knockout because he likes to come forward. And I think if he comes forward against me, which I think he will, but who knows? He could change once he gets hit, or his game plan could be completely different. And but if he does stick to what he does and comes forward, I think I'm going to get a knockout in the first round.
I like the prediction. I like the breakdown of it. It makes my job so much easier when you can kind of just speak it into existence and lay it all out there for everyone. I was going to ask you if you thought that he'd be that willing dance partner. Let's say he's not after, he takes that first heavy shot. Is it something you're just going to go, all right, business as usual? I've been here before. I've been in the past. Or would you like to try and re-engage Aaron Jeffery or any opponent into saying like, all right, I've had enough of this running away from me. Like, let's just go get it done.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is if they're running too much, I can't overextend and can't over-engage myself and leave myself to be hit. So I've spoke on an interview maybe a week or 2 ago. And it's like, I'm not going to be the dumbass is going out there to be rocking robots. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to come forward. But if he's coming forward too, and I need to take a step back, I will. It's not an ego game for me. It's not like I'm Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje where I'm saying, we'll see who takes the first step back. It's, I'm gonna go out there and fight smart, but I'm also going to be aggressive. And if he's being aggressive too, I'll take a step back if I need to. I'll take a step forward whenever I need to, but I think at the end of the day, if he does come forward and he's being aggressive and he's a willing dancing partner, I won't put him down.
Just a couple more here for you, Dalton. I really appreciate your time. Like I said, for me, it sucks because it's been almost nearly a year since we last talked. So I'm happy to reconnect with you. And I plan to be there on fight week. So excited to meet you there in person on fight week. When it comes to your division, what do you make of it? Because when you're at the position you're at, and you're fighting some guy, ranked under you, your options start to get limited, especially as you look forward. But what do you make of where your division is at currently?
I think it's starting to work itself out. You know what I mean? I think the correct guys right now are in the top 4, top 5. I think the correct guys are there, but I think there's some guys that deserve to be in the top 10 on the later end of it that still haven't worked their way in, that have been putting on impressive performances, or they're dark horses in the division, or they're just being slept on. You know what I mean? I've seen some fights that there are some legitimate guys, but they just haven't worked their way into the rankings yet, whether it be from popularity or just, reporters, kind of being reporters at times. Journalists and media and reporters, sometimes they miss shit. They get over analytical, or they form biases even though they're not supposed to.
I can come preaching to the choir here, man. With that said, in the future, you go in, you take care of business against Aaron Jeffery. Is there one specific name you'd like to have that next fight against at the end of this year?
Really, whoever, honestly, and I know this is cliche, whoever they want to put in front of me at the end of the year, as long as I'm getting another one at the end of the year. I would like it to be somebody in front of me, but if they gave me somebody ranked under me again, just for the sake of getting me another fight before they give me somebody ahead of me, I would do it. You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to that. I just want to get another one at the end of the year. And then next year, it'd be just fighting up for sure. But if they did give me somebody up for my next fight and guaranteed to be in the next end of the year, that's fine too.
I know you've probably been asked this 100,000 times, a future fight against you and Johnny Eblen, who many people say could go into other promotions and beat their champ. And I think there's a heavy case for that, but that's only a compliment to guys like you who I feel, can hold their own against Johnny. Have you thought about a future matchup between you two?
Yeah, I mean, everybody asks it all the time. You know, we train with each other. We're both undefeated. I'm 4. He's the champ. You know, so logistically looking at it, of course, those questions are going to come across. I would prefer not to fight my teammate so we can keep training with each other because we do make each other better. It was tough to lose that type of training partner. He's very good. He's very well rounded. He pushes me. He's good everywhere. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there are a lot of moving parts. I can't tell the future, but if we were to have to fight, you know, whether it be 2 fights from now, 3 fights from now, whenever it ends up being, and there was nothing else on the line, on the table, then, you know, it's business. You know, I want to be champion. That's my goal. He's the champ right now. If he's still the champ then, and, you know, he weren't to leave for the UFC or leave for the PFL or, you know, go up a weight class, and he's continued to win and I continue to win, and that's what it ends up being, so be it.
Dalton, you've always had a very mature and smart mindset in this game, in the sport, in life. You know, our first interview is one I still remember. I'm really excited to see you back in there, man. I do want to ask, just on the topic of Johnny, there's a lot of conversation about him, right? Just about just how really good he is. A lot of it coming from the team, the coaches and all that. And again, it's a compliment to you as well. Where does he stand, and where do you think middleweights, including yourself, stand in comparison to the UFC, PFL, and everywhere else?
So I think the top 6 or so in the Bellator can compete with anybody in the UFC, in my opinion. Styles, you know, matter. So stylistically, who each one matches up with would matter. But everybody can compete with each other, and anybody can lose on any given day. It's MMA, but we're past the days of where UFC's the A League and Bellator and PFL or the B League. It's not like that. You know, there's good guys in every promotion. Now, if we're speaking for depth, obviously UFC has more money. They're going to be putting more fighters in their weight classes. They develop a lot of their guys. They have the Contender Series. They have the Tough Season. They're a marketing machine. So they're also creating in the fans' eyes that they have the best fighters, but they have a lot of fighters on their roster as well. So I think it's a combination of everything. But like I said, I think the top 6, top 7 in 185 can compete with anybody in the world in any promotion, you know. And I think at 170, you got some guys like Magomed Umatov and Magomed Karamov in PFL that compete with anybody at 170. You got Yaroslav and Mazov at 170. Bellator compete with anybody at 170 in the world. Yaroslav is fucking very good. Very good.
very good. Absolutely.
And then you got people like Vadim Nemkov, you know what I mean, where he was getting battered by Corey Anderson the first time, and he turned around and, you know, beat him with passed the test with flying colors. And you seen what Corey Anderson did to, you know, Glover Teixeira, who was the champ. You know, who beat John Blachowicz, who was the champ, who just got beat by Pajeda, you know what I mean, who was the champ at 185. So it's like a circle or triangle or square or whatever fucking shape you want to put to it of people beating each other. And Vadim, you know, beat one of them. So it's just a testament to how good he is and how good there are of guys out there outside of the UFC that casual fans and even some biased media reporters I see on MMA Junkie talking about it sometimes that won't give credit to some of these guys. They're like, yeah, he could probably compete, but like the level of competition isn't there or whatever. It's like you are becoming a victim of what the UFC is trying to do. You know, the UFC wants you to think that, you know, which they have the money to do it. They have the platform to do it. They have the stage, the money, the marketing, everything to do so. And they're falling a victim to it instead of staying unbiased.
Well, Dalton, August 11th, you are back inside the Bellator cage against Aaron Jeffery. All eyes just front and center and moving forward for you. Like I continue to say, I'm super excited to be there on fight week, have an opportunity to see you compete live in person. It's exciting for me. It's exciting for Bellator, exciting for the fans to watch you get back in the cage and hopefully have a game dancing partner, like you said, in Aaron Jeffery. So I wish you all the best. Hope to run into you on fight week and appreciate you making the time for me today.
Yep. Thank you. Have a good one.